Okay, so hopefully you can see me. Let me know what you think of this live setup, because I'm trying to use a little bit more of my lights so you can see what I look like. But I figured today we would kind of just play with makeup. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but my brows are looking kind of rough. So we're gonna do some stuff that I normally don't do. I'm gonna try to use a brow pomade to fill in my eyebrows, and then I'm going to try to block them out with concealer. We shall see how this goes. I have the Anastasia Dip Brow in Soft Brown, and I've had this forever, and I haven't even used it. So I figured today was a good time to use it. Because I also have the Dip Brown in Caramel, but again, I've never really been a big fan of brow pomades, but we're gonna test it out. Because again, I'm home, we can play a little bit more with makeup. So let's see if I can kind of create the shape that I'm wanting. Just by following what's already there, and then we'll see how it goes. Well, the pomade works really well for filling in the eyebrows. I will say that, but they look a little on the heavy side up front. But as I said, I'm gonna go in with some concealer too to try to take and carve them out. And that is something I normally don't do. So, let's see. Right now I'm just trying to get a good shape, and they look really thick on camera, don't they? Trying to get a good, nice, straight line. I don't know. And I also have some brow powder here, so that way I can work on the fading aspect of my brows a little bit. Now, the problem with it is, right now, as I can see, is they look awfully thick up front. So, we're gonna take and remove that and try again. And with me having more time at home, that's kind of the stuff that I'm wanting to do, is to, you know, play with it a little bit more and see what works and what doesn't. Remove that, because that was a little on the scary side. You know, I've talked about wanting to make my eyebrows thicker, but I think that was a little bit much. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about down below. Or y'all can talk, because this is a live video, so I can see when y'all post if you want to talk. But I've been trying to do more lives because everybody's kind of in the same boat right now. Everything's kind of crazy. So, to keep things entertaining, you know. I know right now I'm not going to be buying any new makeup. Because I don't know what's going to happen over the next few weeks, few months, anything like that. And until things kind of get back to normal, which I think is how a lot of people are feeling, that I just don't want to spend money on stuff that I don't need. Now, if I run out of something, which I doubt I will, I'll order it. But I mean, for the most part, we'll see. Now that looks a little bit better. Oh, my allergies are getting the best of me. It happens to be allergy season too. I mean, a lot of you know this. And because if you deal with seasonal allergies, you know what I'm talking about. And right now is definitely not the time you want to be dealing with seasonal allergies. And I'm trying to look over and make sure I'm not missing comments, but if I do, I'm sorry, because right now doing the eyebrows is a little on the crazy side. Eyebrows take, especially when I'm trying to do this, brows, people don't realize how important brows are to your face. You know, bad brows, you can definitely tell, and good brows too. But having the right shape and size for your face is so important. So, they're not perfect by any means, but they don't look the worst. So now I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and try to carve them out with concealer. And then, Heather, I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow in Soft Brown. It's a pomade, so it's a little bit more liquidy than the typical pencil I use. But I'm hoping that I can kind of do is kind of worry about changing the shape of my brows a little bit since I can't go get them done. So I figured I'd play with this a little bit today. Right now they look uber crazy, especially with the concealer around them. So, is this a good look? Okay. You've never done your brows? What would I suggest starting off with? A pencil. Pencils and powders are the easiest things to work with. Brow pomades, like what I just used, is a little bit more complicated. It's not that it's super hard. Part of it is practice. It's kind of like with anything else that comes with makeup. Unless you actually practice at it, you don't. And what tips and tricks may work well for my face? Well, and I do have, I also have laying right here the Anastasia. This is the, what is this one? Soft brown. This is like the brown, it's like a brow gel, which helps. It holds your brows in place and stuff like that. But holding them in place is not the only thing that is important for brows. It's also finding the right shape for your face. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and prime the rest of my eyelids with concealer. And then I have several palettes sitting here. I actually pulled out all the palettes that I have purchased this year before all the craziness went down. And I'm gonna let y'all decide which one y'all think I should use. But yeah, brows are one of the most important things on your face. And a lot of people, I don't think, even realize that. So, the palettes that I have purchased this year, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, and I have the Melt Millennial Pinks. I didn't grab that one. So, I've got both of the new Sugar Pill palettes. I have the C1 and the C2. I have my Smoky Glow palette. I have the Pat McGrath Divine Rose Mothership 7, which looks like this, very basic. I have my Give Me Glow Vintage Rose, which looks like this. I have the Norvina Mini Pro Pigment Volume 3, which looks like this. The Natasha Denona Love Palette, which looks like this. And then the Jeffree Star Bloodlust Palette. The only other palette I've purchased this year that is not over here is the Melt Cosmetics Millennial Pinks palette. So that's what that one looks like. So take and comment, let me know which one y'all want me to work with. There's a few of you watching. That's never good when you drop your eyeshadows, because that can break them. But yeah, no, let me know what y'all think, or if y'all have a preference, let me know, and we'll kind of go from there. I mean, if you're wanting to see something more colorful or more neutral, that kind of thing. The C2 palette by Sugarpill, I love that palette. It's a great everyday palette. Putting on primer. This is the Hourglass Veil Primer. This is one of my favorite primers. Vintage Rose or Jeffree Star. Let's see if anybody else wants to vote, and then if not, then we'll kind of play with a little of all three. Because that's what it's all about. Because as I said, only people who are going to see me with makeup on are my family and y'all. And the people on my other channel. So as you can see, I've been working with my Curly Girl method again. It's not looking too bad. I'm still trying to figure out what is the right ratio for gel, because I do get, like, I have some pieces that are soft and some pieces that are a little on the crispy side. So I'm still trying to figure that out. So let's see. So it was the Give Me Glow, Jeffree Star, and the C2. So I'm gonna put the other ones down beside me so that way I don't drop them and break them, because they're expensive. Let's see. I'm wearing a coral, I'm wearing a Sublime shirt. If you don't know who Sublime is, take a listen. I love 90s alternative, 90s and early 2000s alternative, and metal and grunge. So, let's see. What I think I'm gonna do is use the Jeffree Star on the lower lash line. And we'll mess with the Sugarpill palette and the Vintage Rose on the top. So I think I'm going to start with just this basic tan color right here, which is called Karma. We're just gonna fluff that into our crease. Which, if you see it, it's kind of hard to tell on camera here, but if you look at it, it is definitely more peachy than it is tan, which definitely works with what I am wearing today. So, and I'm even going to attempt liquid eyeliner. I figure the more I practice at it, the better I'll get, so we shall see. And as you can see, I'm just fluffing this in the crease. You don't have to be super neat with it. That's one of the reasons why I like to do my shadows before I do my foundation, is because you don't have to be super, super neat with it, and you can still make it look super pretty. So I like that. You know what? I haven't messed with the red color that's in the Jeffree Star palette. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use Bleeding Heart right here. And we're gonna add that to our crease as well. Even though it's more of a metallic-y color, I think it'll work. That's part of the fun of this, is you can play with all the colors you want to. Mainly keeping that on the outside. That's a pretty color. But I wouldn't say it is a true red. I think it is a very pinky red. And as you can see, I'm kind of keeping that on my lid a little bit on the outside as well. I'm gonna take a clean brush, fluffy brush, to kind of blend those edges together. But typically, Jeffree Star's shadows are really pigmented, and that's what that looks like. And it's really pretty, but when you blend it out, see? I don't know if I really like that color as much as I do some others. So, let's see. Let's go back into, let's see what we have in this Vintage Rose. I'm gonna go into the shade called Velvet Petals, and we're gonna deepen up the outside a little bit more. Look how pretty that is. I really do like the Give Me Glow quality of shadows, even though not everybody talks about it. And I saw this a long time ago and thought it was stunning. Now, what I wanted to show you though is, okay, this is the Pat McGrath Vintage Rose. And I'm gonna go into the shade right here, which I'm not sure what it's called, but that's what it looks like on a finger. See how beautiful that is? Now, I'm gonna show you Blossom from this, it's kind of a similar kind of color. Now, the Pat McGrath one is definitely sparklier, but it is also a drier formula. And the Give Me, look how shiny that shade is from the Give Me Glow. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that. And they're a whole lot more expensive. And Give Me Glow is a indie brand in Texas. And I order all this makeup that I use, I order and pay for myself. It's not like somebody else takes and purchases it for me. Be nice if someone did. Well, I mean, other than my husband. But it's not like I get it as PR, which I don't think, I've talked about it before. I don't know if I would accept PR or not, because if you're wondering what I'm doing now, I'm cutting my crease. I'm gonna try to, at least. We're going to give us a blank canvas to place a sparkly shade on our eyes. But cutting your crease is very, I mean, it's not something super difficult to do. So I think I'm gonna go into the Vintage Rose palette, and we're gonna use the shade Blossom. And I like to apply it with a wet brush. So just take some MAC Fix Plus. And if you notice, I am using the same brush that I used to with the concealer to carve out my crease. But look how pretty that looks. But they're a whole lot cheaper. What I was saying is they're a whole lot cheaper than the Pat McGrath, which Pat McGrath is my favorite luxury brand. They're extremely expensive. But I love the quality of her makeup. I haven't found a product by her that I don't love, which I'm not sure is the case with every brand, but her stuff, I do. I absolutely love. And I pretty much have everything from her brand other than, like, I don't have her liquid eyeliner. She doesn't have brow products yet, but she does have. Now what I'm doing is just taking and going back in with a small brush and kind of blending out the edges, and I'm gonna take that same Velvet Petals that I put in my crease and just apply that to blend out the edges so it's not a harsh line. So instead of it being like a full cut crease where you go across the whole lid, I like to do more of a hack cut crease. So, what do you think? It's not my neatest job on applying makeup, but it's not my worst either. So I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and try to apply some liquid liner, if I can find my liquid liner, before I do more. And I have the Kat Von D, which is now KVD Vegan Beauty or something like that. And Trooper, I've had this forever. This is the only thing liquid eyeliner I have. So that's what we're going to use. Now, if you're wondering why I don't close my eyes, this is part of the reason why I don't ever apply liquid eyeliner. I am blind in my right eye, almost 100%, so I can't close my eye to be able to see what I'm doing. So if I'm applying like liquid liner or anything like that, I have to apply it with my eye open. And liquid liner is one of those things I've kind of wanted to master and never really have. So we're gonna play with it. First thing I want to get good at is just applying a single line. And then maybe we might work on doing a wing. Because again, I don't know if my eye shape is the best for a wing. That's not terrible. Don't mind that at all. See, but that's one of the issues too, is getting it even, because I can close this side to do it. And if you notice, my hands are super duper shaky. Always have been. Let's see. But I've always been told this is a good liquid eyeliner. Again, I got this in a set a very, very long time ago. So I have had it forever. Let's see. Okay. Not the best job, but not the worst job, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. We shall see. So that's kind of what my eyeshadow and stuff looks like right now. So now we're gonna go ahead and apply some foundation. I'm using the Smashbox 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about this, but I do love this foundation. It's a really good foundation. I've heard them talk about the 24-hour one and other ones, but you know, Smashbox have actually had some really good luck with foundations and stuff from their line. And don't worry, we are going to be going live on the other channel as well. I just like to do this and get ready and talk with y'all and all that kind of stuff. Now, as I said, I don't know who's watching, who's participating, but I mean, everybody needs at this point someone to talk to, someone to chat with. So I did start trying to work out again. I was like, I need to quit overeating. I don't know how y'all are, but I am, like, I smeared some eyeshadow under my eye. Let's see if my foundation will cover that. But I'm a stress eater, and during all this I have been eating up a storm. So, you know, I was sitting there, and the other day I was talking to my husband. I was like, you know, if I had time to do this, I would. But then I was like, I actually have more time Now, so that's why I did the videos over the things that I want to do better and learn while I'm on my break. Or not really on my break, but while everything in the world is going on. And one of the things for me, and since I'm not ordering new makeup, it definitely makes it where I am going to use the makeup I have a whole lot more. You know what I mean? So, there we go. But yeah, I mean, which I think is an important thing for all of us to do. But we can all work on those skills. I mean, not everybody has more time like I do. But I will say this, I have been enjoying homeschooling with Cameron. So, I don't know. We may continue it. How do y'all like doing homeschool? Are any of you homeschooling right now? But yeah, I mean, I like it. And then I also like the idea of, okay, well, if we continue doing homeschool, I don't have to worry about what time of the year we want to go on vacation and only keep it to school breaks. I can plan things like if I want to go to Disney World, I can go in the off season and bring Cameron along. You know what I'm saying? Because going during the off season's definitely a whole lot less expensive than like the times of the year that we went, which is we went in Christmas and summer. I mean, we went in September, which it wasn't terrible, but you know, I think it all kind of depends. So that's what I'm looking like right now. My skin looks good. My eyebrows look a little rough. My eyes are not my favorite, but I think that's just because I'm blending together a lot of different types of and brands of shadows, and I'm not sure if they all play well together, but I figured we'd try something where it was kind of mixing a little bit of everything. But as I said, I do like the way my skin looks right now. Let's go ahead and put on some bronzer. Charlotte Tilbury. I do not own a lot by Charlotte Tilbury because a lot of her makeup is very natural looking, and I mean, it's gorgeous, it's pretty, but I like a little bit, if I'm going to wear makeup, I want people to know I'm wearing makeup kind of thing. So I haven't bought a lot from her, but this is the Glowgasm palette in Lovegasm, so it's the deeper one of the two. I really do like this. The bronzer is really nice, and I've had this a while. And you can take and see, if you look, you can see how I've worn through a lot of the imprint, especially like on the bronzer shade. And the good thing about this is it's very buildable, so you can really layer it up. So it's kind of hard to mess it up because, like, okay, you see how I'm applying it over here? You can see it, but it is still very faint. If I go into, this is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze. As you can see, I've used a lot of that up too. You can start to see the imprint underneath. See how much more product that applied? So it's definitely, I mean, this is a good color too, and this is a whole lot less expensive. But if you're wanting something that's a little bit more buildable, something that you can take and you're not sure how to apply bronzer, a good buildable bronzer, I do like that Charlotte Tilbury one. And I do like the Makeup Revolution one too. I mean, as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. It looks gross on the outside too. But we're gonna go through and apply face products, and then we'll finish up our lower lash line, and then like our eyebrows and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that this lighting is working a little bit better. You can see better, but I don't know if I like that with the ring light on. I think it's kind of washing me out a little bit with this camera. Trying to figure out the best way to shoot live is a little bit difficult because like doing live quality is never going to be as good as like if it's a recorded video. I'm going to use the Retrograde blush shade from the C2 palette. I love a good coral blush, and it definitely goes with my shirt. So I think I'm done with that palette for today. So now what I want to take and do is this is Beautiful Brows. This came from the Nutcracker Market in Houston. It's like some little no-name place. And I'm going to use this lighter shade that's in it. I do like the powder though that it is in here, so that's why I'm using it. And brow powder will pretty much, it doesn't matter which brow powder you use. A lot of them are all the same. You can even use eyeshadow if you want to. But anyways, I'm just using that lighter shade on the front of my brows to kind of give it that ombre effect, which really isn't working out too well right now. They still look all kinds of dark. And they're getting so thick. Let's go into the darker shade to work on the tail. So if you can tell on camera, they're actually two different shades. I don't know. Okay, that's better. Got a little obsessive with the brow powder. Now I'm just taking some of the Anastasia brow mascara, putting that on. Let's go into highlight. What do I want to use as highlight today? Well, I only have my highlight here from my Charlotte Tilbury, or I can use one from the eyeshadow palette. Let's see if we want to use one from the Jeffree Star eyeshadow palette. Yeah, I think I'm going to try using Beauty Sleep, this little lavendery one right there, from the Jeffree Star palette. Or should I use Wet Jewel? Yeah, we'll stick with Beauty Sleep. Look how pretty that came out. And it's definitely got some gold in it too. Now it does look pretty heavy on the cheek compared with the blush, but I'm going to take just a big fluffy powder brush. There we go. And blend them in. A lot of times that will help. My under eyes are not looking the best right now, but a lot of that has to do with the amount of sleep I've gotten, which is not much. So I think I'm going to go into, I was going to do a purple, but I think I'm going to use Vile Serpent, that deep teal. I haven't played with that one yet either. So, under the eye. And one tip and trick I can teach you if you're wanting to play with more color, one of the best and easiest ways to play with color is start by using them under your eyes first. So instead of, attempting to do like a full colorful look, if you do just like a little bit under your eyes, it adds some color, but it also gives you a little bit of wiggle room, because you can definitely tone them down and things like that when you're using it under your eye. Which I think I'm going to actually go back into the Sugar Pill. That's it. Okay, so I grabbed the Sugar Pill C1. And I'm going to go into this lime green shade right here. I think that that would be really, really cool looking under the eye too. So you really can't see that green, but you can kind of see how it's blending in with that teal. So it's making it much greener than almost like a dirty grungy green, which is kind of what I like. I like grungy colors. So anyways, I do really like this makeup look. I think it's definitely not something that I typically do. I mean, well, yeah, I do a lot of heavy eyes, but the brows are definitely something I typically don't mess with doing them like this. The skin looks pretty good. Now, I'm still definitely one who doesn't use eyeshadows as highlighters, but you know, I figured it might be something fun to do and try to play with. Now, I can say this though, when I have liquid eyeliner on, or eyeliner on the top, it definitely makes my eyes look like I have a lot more eyelashes than I typically do. But I do feel like it kind of takes away a little bit of the space and stuff that I typically have above my lids. So, I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and spray with Fix Plus, which I forgot to put that on before I did my mascara. I think I'm gonna go into the Jeffree Star palette and use the shade Wet Jewel right here, this really pretty pink shade. We're gonna use that as our inner corner. Ooh, that's pretty. See how much of a pop that made? This is the new formula in this palette that hasn't been in any other. So, you can see the difference. That's what an inner corner highlight does. Anyways. I know this is probably not the most interesting video ever, but you know, we're playing, we're learning. Now I think I'm gonna add on a little bit of lip gloss and I am done. I will be going live on the other channel about 5 o'clock, so if you want to check that out, do. But I guess that's it, so we will see y'all tomorrow for a recorded video. Bye.